Hello, thank you once again, and welcome to my channel. Um, this is a continuation of the project we've been building in a couple of videos that we've already done in the past. This will be third in the series of this project that we are working on using the Python list data structure. If you remember, I don't know if you have watched the past videos that are related to this project. Like I said, this will be the third part of the videos, and if you haven't seen the others, I'm going to list them or post them in the comment, or rather in the description field, and also show them on the screen so that you can view them before you come back to continue with this third part of the project. As you can see, we still have what we completed in the second video. We already built the add item, which allows the user to add item to using the application. So as you can see, um, we built our add item function, which we um, which we already called in the main function. Once it is called, as you can see, that's exactly what is used to. As you can see how it works. When you scroll down here, you will see how we used it to add items to the application using the interface of the application. So instead of trying to explain everything again in this video, it's better that you watch the first videos and see what I've already done, or see the explanation of what you've done already here, so that you will be able um, to proceed adding what we are going to do in this third video. So now in this video, what I intend to do is to create just it seems like I always say this in every video, but this will be probably the shortest video of all, probably. Mostly because the function we are going to build now will be very simple. This will be the display items function. So this display items function, it just does what the name suggests, which is the option number 2 here. So once the user chooses option number 2, it's going to display all the items that are added to the application. That's just all it does. So like I said, it's going to be very simple. And let's just go and continue to build the function. So the function, we are going to call it, we're going to give it an appropriate name, of course. So let's call it display. Um, so the function is going to be, wait, let me see. Okay, so let's call it display items, and so display items. Okay, so what I intend to do, or first of all, let us describe what is going on. Let's say available items, right? Because we're going to show the items that the users of the application have in their stock. So we're showing available items, and what we're going to do now is let's call an index, because I would want for us to be able to see the index of the items that are added. This is really not necessary if you feel like you do not need to have to display the indexes. It might be not, you don't really need to use this, but I just feel like it looks better, and it helps us to know the position of each item that is listed. So I would uh, I would rather use that, is what I'm trying to say. I think it's a good idea to use it. So um, let's say index and 0. Let's declare our index. Okay. Now let's say if items. So the items, if you remember, if you've watched the previous videos, you will remember the items is actually the name of the list that we are using. So what I'm trying to do is the first of all check items. This will this is like trying to find out if if the items list is empty or not. So if items, if it is positive, which means that it contains something. So what happens? So let us look through the existing items and list what we've got. So if items, which is positive, so we can say for item in items, for item in items, for item in items, okay, let us print what we've got. So if we have something in the item, I think it would be good. Let us kind of format the output. Let me wait a moment. Yeah, we're going to. It is a better idea to have them formatted, and so that it makes the output to look quite a bit to look good, obviously. So let us format, and then the index. This is where this will list the index of each of the item. Then now let us list the items. So this one will be let us say the index 0, item index 1. Okay, this will be index 2, item. It should be index 3. Oh, this will be index 3. So now that we list the items, okay, let us go now. This is in case the item contains, or the items list contains items. So what happens is that we use this for loop to list the entire items that we've got. And oh, I think I missed something there. Let's see, item, and okay. So now let us list, okay, yes, 1 second, okay, index. So once there is something, so we increment the index. The index will be incremented, and then if there is nothing in the items list, what happens? Oh, what happens is that we need to print something also. Print there are no items to display. There are no items to display, right? And okay, let us use the continue keyword. Let us use the continue here. So it kind of indexes, it prints the index and continues. And so you won't believe it, but this is all that we needed. Nothing else. That's why I said earlier that this would be quite a very, very simple function. This is all we needed. So what would happen here is, like I said, that we need to print out the index of each of the items. That's why we have this, we initialize this index variable here. Then we check if the items list contains something. If it does, then we look through the items list and then print them. And if there is nothing, if it doesn't contain anything, we display there are no items to the display, right? Okay, so what we need to do now next is to call this function from our main function. It's called display items. So we're going to call it from our main function. Ah, just 1 second. Where is the main function? This here is the main function. So let's see the right place to put this. Okay, I think this should be number 2. So it will be L if response is number 2. Then we print this function. Once when the user chooses the second option, then we print this option. Else, no option has been chosen. So let's save this and let's run our application and let's see what. And to do that, let's go Python list, which is the name of the file where the application was written. So let's call that and see what happens. Okay, so it gives us the options to choose what we need to, or what we want to do. So in this case, what I want to try first is the option number 2. Remember, option number 2 is to display items, and we wrote the function in such a way that if there are no items to display, it gives us this, there are no items to display. So first of all, let us try this and see if it gives us this. And if it does, and then we will try to add some items and then try it again. So now let us go with option number 2. There are no items to display, which is what we expected it to do, because of course we have no items yet added. So now let us add some items. So let's choose option number 1. And so now what do we do? Let us go on and add some items. So let's add some mobile phone. What brand? Let's say Samsung. Quantity 24. Price for, let's say, I don't know, 49.6. Do you want to add more? You like, yes, let's say yes. We add more. Let's add more phone, mobile phones. Brand, let's say Apple. Apple. Quantity, let's say 89, and price 122.4. Do you want to add more? Let's say yes. And then what do we add? Let's try something as television. Television. The brand of, let's say, Philips. The quantity 87 sets, and the price, let's say the price is 199.4. Do you want to add something else? Let's say no this time around. So we said no this time around, and what we want to do Now is the time to use the function we wrote, or to use it the second time because we had already used it already in the previous days that we did. So let us choose it again. So remember that option should be option number 2, as you can remember, which is used to display the items. So let's try it now. So option number 2 should be, let's choose option number 2. You see, that's exactly what we expected to see. So we have available items, and then we have the list of items we just added, right? You see the indexes from 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, and then you have the items. So that's exactly what we try to achieve in this section of the video. So please, we are going to go on and write other functions, because if you remember, we still have some other functions that we want to add, and it probably doesn't need to be only the options that we have here. We might go on and add um, even more functions, options, right? So that we will make our application to look to look more interesting than it does now. So please, can I ask you to subscribe to my video, to comment and to like, and I will be happy to continue writing or providing you these tutorials. Thank you so much for your time, and see you in the next video. Bye.